you're trying to reduce your losses in some form or the other. Okay. Now, after these 4 components, we have
So,
another 4 components also. Yes.
so asset allocation फिर से explain कर देंगे आप?
बिल्कुल बिल्कुल एसेट एलोकेशन का सिंपल सा मतलब है कि आप इसमें हमने बहुत अच्छी केस स्टडी क्लास में डिस्कस करी थी, दोबारा कर लेते हैं। सिंपल सा मतलब है कि मैं आपसे पूछूं अगर कि आपको अलग अलग इंस्ट्रूमेंट्स में पैसा डालना है और आप कितने पैसे इन्वेस्ट करोगे इन टर्म्स ऑफ परसेंटेज। फॉर एग्जांपल लेट्स से भावना यू टोल्ड अर्लियर कि आपको 1 लाख का इन्वेस्टमेंट करना है। अगर
जी।
आपसे मैं पूछूं कि आप कितने परसेंटेज इन्वेस्ट करना चाहते हैं इक्विटी में, कितना परसेंट डेट में करना चाहते हैं, कितना रियल एस्टेट में करना चाहते हैं, तो आई एम श्योर कि आप मुझे परसेंटेज दे पाओगे। आपके परसेंटेज के बेसिस पे आई गेट एन आइडिया कि आप कितना फाइनेंशियल रिस्क ले रहे हो। फॉर एग्जांपल लेट्स से यू टेल मी कि सर 1 लाख रुपए इन्वेस्ट करना चाहती हूँ एंड 50% आई वांट टू इन्वेस्ट इन लेट्स से इक्विटी मार्केट। सो 50% ऑफ द एक्सपोजर इज गोइंग इनटू इक्विटी मार्केट, दैट इज वन काइंड ऑफ एसेट एलोकेशन दैट यू हैव डन। 20% आप कहती हैं सर रियल एस्टेट में करना चाहती हूँ, ठीक है, तो
ओके।
रिमेनिंग अमाउंट हो गया एंड देन रिमेनिंग लेट्स से यू से कि सर बाकी रिमेनिंग पैसा मैं एफडी में डाल देना चाहता हूँ। सो दिस इज हाउ यू आर एलोकेटिंग योर एसेट इन टर्म्स ऑफ योर टोटल इन्वेस्टमेंट वैल्यू। वो आपका फाइनेंशियल रिस्क डिटरमाइन करता है कि अच्छा 50% इन्होंने इक्विटी में डाल दिया, 20% इन्होंने लेट्स से रियल एस्टेट में डाल दिया और 30% इन्होंने एफडी में डाल दिया। सो दैट इज बेसिकली गिविंग यू हाउ हैव यू एलोकेटेड योर एसेट। ठीक है।
ओके।
Yes, now we have yes, now we have another 4 tools. Now I want somebody to explain these 4 also. Yes, anyone? The next 4 components or the tools that we have. Yes, anyone apart from Huda? Atulji, you can put your hand down. Yes, anyone else? What about others? Baki log? Others, you can raise up your hand. Okay, Shishti, go ahead, please.
Sir, hedging, when we talk about hedging, hedging is the kind of process to minimize the risk to or maybe offset the potential losses. And insurance, basically in insurance, we transfer our risk to another party or maybe agency. And risk monitoring is to review our portfolios and investment and financial statements. And emergency fund is sorry sir, emergency fund में थोड़ा सा confusion है.
Emergency fund बेटा क्या होता है? Emergency fund मतलब you are making a kind
basic
of a
meaning
fund
तो
for
पता है मुझे.
the
Basic meaning तो पता है.
The provision.
उसको yes yes sure please go ahead.
सर इमरजेंसी फंड्स को हम प्रोविजंस भी तो कह सकते हैं ना?
बिल्कुल कह सकते हैं। सृष्टि ब्रॉडली हम क्या करने की कोशिश कर रहे हैं, हम फाइनेंशियल रिस्क के बारे में बात कर रहे हैं, ठीक है। सो हम इमरजेंसी फंड बना रहे हैं, अपने पास एक रिजर्व बना रहे हैं, अपने पास एक फंड बना रहे हैं जिनको हम इमरजेंसी सिचुएशन में यूज कर सकें। बैंक के केस में उसको हमने कैपिटल चार्जेस का नाम दे दिया, कंपनी से केस में हम उसको प्रोविजंस का नाम दे सकते हैं, ठीक है। सो बेसिकली इन टर्म्स ऑफ सिचुएशन, इन टर्म्स ऑफ सिचुएशन वी कैन यूज इट। प्रोविजन एंड रिजर्व के लिए, रिजर्व भी इसीलिए बनाया जाता है, ठीक है। सो दैट इज द ब्रॉड आइडिया, ठीक है। So that is all about first unit. First unit में तो कुछ है ही नहीं, ठीक है। Broadly it is very simple, catering to financial risk. Now let's move to your unit number 2 and I want full attention in unit number 2 because unit number 2 में, और मैं बता दूं कि unit number 2 is majorly focused towards your numericals, ठीक है। ये बात मैं बार बार बता चुका हूँ, इसके बाद नहीं बताऊंगा, ठीक है। तो प्लीज न्यूमेरिकल से डरिएगा मत, बहुत सिंपल न्यूमेरिकल्स हैं आपके पास ऑलरेडी। यस, सो कैन somebody tell me what is a market risk? Yes, now some questions. Market risk क्या है? What is market risk? We have just discussed this. And what are its 3 components? Yes. Anyone? Huda? Components of market risk.
The components recall नहीं हो रहा है. I'm trying to look for them.
So you mean to say component means different types of market risk? Component, sir, by component you mean different types of market risk?
Sir,
Sir,
you're
you
not
are
audible.
mute. Sir, you are mute.
Okay, sorry. I'm talking about three kinds of specific market risk, which are systematic, unsystematic, and systemic.
Ah,
Okay, so we have already discussed this. Now I want somebody to explain two important components on which this entire unit is based upon. Very specific two components, and that is the most important question for this particular entire unit. That is value at risk and beta. Let me see who answers this. You have to raise up your hand. I want this to be answered by very clearly. These two concepts: value at risk and beta. Let's see. Just raise up your hand, everyone. Atulji, would you like to take a try on beta and value at risk?
Sure. Sure.
Please.
So, value at risk is essentially estimating the potential loss that a particular investment or something you can incur on for a given time horizon and for a specific confidence level, right? So you are essentially trying to estimate what is your potential loss for a given time horizon and for a particular confidence level. And essentially, there is a formula, which is where you multiply volatility with the the z value. I think it's a z value at a particular confidence level, and I think I'm missing the third component. It is
third component is the portfolio value that you have.
Portfolio?
Portfolio value, the portfolio value that you have.
Oh yeah, okay, fine. So essentially, yeah, okay, fine. So that is the value rate. It's basically maximum potential loss that an investment can incur, and it is basically calculated using historical data. And beta is essentially, it is essentially the volatility, and it actually captures the volatility of a particular security or a particular stock with respect to the market, in terms of, if a market goes up by 1%, then, by how much percentage beta gives a view as to what percentage that price of that particular security will go up or go down.
Fantastic. Now my next question is, Atulji, a counter question on this.
Okay.
Beta is measuring what kinds of risk? Is it a systematic risk or is it measuring an unsystematic risk?
It is measuring systematic risk because it's related to market. We are comparing it with the overall market.
Perfect. And if I say that systematic risk is, the value of systematic risk is 1.2, what do I interpret by this?
Yeah, it means that, if a market goes up by 1%, that particular stock will go 1.2 times the market movement on either side, whether it is on the, so it's a very aggressive, it would be a little aggressive stock or a security, in terms of its price movement.
Perfect. So can I say that is a more of a volatile stock, or is it a stable stock?
More volatile stock.
Perfect. So that is all about value at risk and beta. See, these are the two components which you should be very thorough up in terms of the concepts also. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show up the formula once again so that you're able to follow back on the formula. So just let me know once the screen is visible, though you already have the PPT, but still I'm just taking it around once again. So this was the formula that we had. So just remember these three components in the formula. One is the portfolio value, whatever value is being given. For example, in this 10 lakh is the portfolio value which is being given. Then we have the Z value, okay, which you have to calculate from the Z table. Hey, please Z table leke jaiyega. Do not forget it. And then you have the standard deviation, which is basically the volatility value. You just have to multiply it and then you get the value. And this is going to be your value at risk. Okay, so this is going to be the first kind of a numerical that you can probably get in your exam. In what form it is you're going to get, I cannot tell you right now, but this is how probably you can get it. The second component is going to be your beta value.
Sir,
yes.
Sir, on this Z value, if we just memorize the Z value for at 90%, 95%, 99%, will that be fine? I mean, instead of taking a table?
I would, you can definitely do that, and people do that, but I would suggest that it's better to take a Z table. Why to take a risk?
Sure, I agree. But typically, I've seen all the questions asking 95% or 99% only.
And what would happen if I plan to ask a 92%, Atulji? How will you answer that?
I agree with you. Yeah.
Yeah. So now let's take it
Sure.
on a safer side, and let's take a Z table with us. Right. And then we have this beta calculation. Again, this is the formula written for beta. Just remember that beta is measuring a systematic risk. So often it is a counter question, or you can say an additional question which is being tagged along with the numerical. That what kind of risk are we measuring with beta? So many a time students write that it is a unsystematic risk, but this is beta is a systematic risk that you're measuring, because it's very difficult to measure unsystematic risk, because that's very specific to a company. So it becomes very difficult to measure it. So this is going to be a formula for beta, which is the covariance between the market and the security that you're measuring and the variance of the market. So this is going to be given to you in the question. You just have to put it, and don't forget to interpret it. For example, if the beta value is coming out to be 1.39, what does it say about the interpretation? How do we interpret this? 1.39 is the value. Yes, anyone apart from Atulji? Anyone? 1.39 is the value. Yes, Bhavna.
Highly volatile.
Okay, Maniji, anything? Yes, Manish, you can unmute yourself now.
High volatile. High volatile.
Okay. So these are the two numerical end questions that we have from this particular aspect. What is multi-Carnot simulation we have discussed today? There was one more topic that I wanted to discuss on this segment. Yes. What is stress testing? Stress testing and back testing. These are the two concepts. Any volunteer for these two questions? Stress testing and back testing. Both are very important. And why are they used? Yes.
Sir, what is the second one that you said? Stress and which one?
Back testing.
Back testing.
Yes.
Back testing.
Sir, stress testing. Okay.
One by one.
Sir, stress testing के time मतलब हम different kind of situation देते हैं, stressful situation, to understand how someone decides.
Stop. One by one. You just have to raise up the hand.
Sorry, sir.
Okay. Yes. So one of you would explain stress testing and one of you would explain back testing. Okay. Srishti, go ahead with stress testing.
Okay. Sir, we give different kinds of stressful situation to decision makers to analyze how they tend towards the situation and how they decide to handle these kind of situation.
Srishti, just repeat again. I could not understand.
In a stress testing, we apply different kind of stressful situation to observe how someone perform or decide on that situation. And in backtesting, backtesting का Huda explain करेगी.
Yeah, Huda, go ahead with backtesting now.
Say we create a risk mitigation strategy and we lay out a plan. Okay. Backtesting means we are seeing how that mitigation plan would have performed in the past. Would it have saved us from some of the losses that we incurred in the past? Would it have performed better than our past mitigation technique, or would it have performed worse than our past mitigation technique?
Okay. Yes, Srishti, would you like to add something? Your hand?
No, sir.
Okay. See, stress testing and back testing is very important from your exam perspective, and you should have a very crystal example for it. So, for example, when I'm talking about stress testing, you have to understand that we are intentionally trying to test the robustness or the strength of the model or the risk management technique that we are using. So what you can probably give here as an example is that, for example, let's take a bank here. So let's say that we have taken a bank here, and in terms of stress testing, what we're trying to do, we have maintained, let's say, uh, a capital buffer of 10%. That is what we have maintained here. Now, what happens tomorrow is somebody, a depositor comes to you and says that, okay, I want to withdraw an amount of, let's say, 5 crore. That can be one example of doing it. The second way of that is one dimension that can be taken. The second dimension could be that I say that there's a person who has taken a loan of 50 crore rupees and now he has become insolvent. He has defaulted on the entire amount of 50 crore rupees. So these can be two examples to test whether the bank would be in a position to handle the situation. क्या 5 करोड़ रुपए का डिपॉजिटर आ जाता है तो क्या वो बैंक उस सिचुएशन को हैंडल कर पाता है, that stressful situation or not, whether the bank has sufficient amount of liquidity or what do you say funds to tackle it. And the second situation is that if a 50 crore rupees person who has taken a loan turns out to be bankrupt or turns out to be insolvent, whether the company has enough amount of fund, whether the company has, sorry, the bank has enough amount of financial strength or what you can say resilience to tackle it. So this is how, see, it's not about just talking about stress testing, but bringing in some situation of stress also. आपको stress की situation भी दिखानी पड़ेगी when you are talking about the in the exams. Otherwise, how will you explain it? आप सिर्फ stress testing भाई question ये तो नहीं आएगा ना, what is stress testing? You might get a question, how do financial institutions, or let's say how does banks, or let's say how does companies handle or take use of stress testing? तो वो आपको समझाना पड़ेगा. Second is with the case of back testing. बैक टेस्टिंग का क्या मतलब है कि आपने कोई स्ट्रैटेजी डेवलप करी, आपने कोई मॉडल डेवलप किया एंड यू मूविंग बैकवर्ड्स. व्हाट यू आर ट्राइंग टू से कि जो भी फोरकास्ट हम कर रहे थे, फोरकास्टिंग में हम फ्यूचर में जाते हैं, बैक टेस्टिंग में हम बैकवर्ड मूव करेंगे हिस्टोरिकली. सो व्हाट विल ट्राई टू डू हियर इज वी विल मूव इन द बैकवर्ड डायरेक्शन टू सी कि जो भी हमने स्ट्रैटेजी यूज करी है, जो भी हमने टेक्निक या टूल यूज किए थे, क्या वो पास्ट परफॉर्मेंसेस को आइडेंटिफाई कर पा रहा है या फिर वेदर इट इज एबल टू मेजर इट और नॉट. भाई अगर आपकी टेक्निक सही होगी तो बैकवर्ड मूवमेंट भी प्रेडिक्शन सही होगा और फॉरवर्ड मूवमेंट भी प्रेडिक्शन सही होगा. सो अगर हम बैक टेस्टिंग से ये टेस्ट कर पाए कि पिछला जो स्ट्रैटेजी हमने यूज करी थी बैकवर्ड में, ये जो पिछले सिनेरियो में हमने टेस्टिंग करी थी, इफ इट हैज एक्चुअली वर्क्ड, इट इज एबल टू एक्चुअली गिव अस द स्टिमुलेटेड वैल्यू ऑफ हिस्टोरिकल डेटा. स्टिमुलेटेड वैल्यू क्या होती है? हम सिचुएशन क्रिएट कर रहे हैं पिछली वैल्यू डिटरमाइन करने के लिए. If we are able to do it, that means this technique has worked and it might work in the future also. अगर कोई मॉडल पास्ट डेटा प्रेडिक्ट कर सकता है तो देयर कैन बी अ हाई प्रोबेबिलिटी वी कैन से दैट कैन आल्सो प्रेडिक्ट अ फ्यूचर वैल्यू. ठीक है. सो देयरफॉर दैट इज हाउ बैक टेस्टिंग एंड स्ट्रेस टेस्टिंग इज बीइंग यूज्ड. इसमें आप एक और थोड़ा सा एड ऑन करने के लिए, अपने अंडरस्टैंडिंग को बढ़ाने के लिए एक और एलिमेंट डाल सकते हो दैट लेट्स से यू यूज अ काइंड ऑफ अ रिग्रेशन टेक्निक. आपने एक रिग्रेशन टेक्निक यूज कर ली टू डू अ काइंड ऑफ अ प्रेडिक्शन. सो एक एलिमेंट क्या है कि आप फ्यूचर फोरकास्ट करो कि भाई let's say we are increasing the advertisement expenditure. I'm giving you an example here. Let's say you are increasing the advertisement expenditure, whether it is improving the sales level or not. क्या sales level improve हो रही है advertisement expenditure से? The other way of doing it is that you move backwards. What you say is कि हमने past में अगर advertisement expenditure बढ़ाया था, ठीक है, whether we have increased the advertisement expenditure in the past, within the past that particular model has worked or not, या फिर क्या कोई थ्रेशोल्ड लिमिट थी, क्या कोई एक पॉइंट था जिसके बाद एडवर्टाइजमेंट एक्सपेंडिचर बढ़ाने के बाद सेल्स नहीं इंप्रूव हुई थी. सो दिस विल गिव यू अ काइंड ऑफ अ थ्रेशोल्ड लिमिट कि फ्यूचर में भी हमें एक लिमिट तक ये एडवर्टाइजमेंट बढ़ानी है. आप खुद सोच के देखो, अगर एडवर्टाइजमेंट और सेल्स के बीच में कोई थ्रेशोल्ड लिमिट नहीं होती तो कंपनीज क्या करती? एडवर्टाइजमेंट करते जाते रुकते ही नहीं कभी. दे वुड हैव नेवर स्टॉप्ड. व्हाई वुड दे स्टॉप? बिकॉज with research, with some techniques, with some models, it has been identified कि एक certain कर दो, मार्केट सैचुरेशन लेवल पे पहुंच जाएगा एंड यू विल नॉट बी एबल टू जनरेट एनी काइंड ऑफ रिटर्न्स. उसके बाद आपको रिटर्न्स आएंगे ही नहीं आएंगे. ठीक है. सो देयरफॉर दीस थिंग्स हैव टू बी टेकन इनटू कंसीडरेशन. ठीक है. द लास्ट टॉपिक फॉर दिस यूनिट एंड देन वी आर रैपिंग अप द क्लास, कैपिटल चार्जेस. समबडी वाज आस्किंग मी, नाउ आई वांट समबडी फ्रॉम योर साइड टू एक्सप्लेन व्हाट डू वी मीन बाय कैपिटल चार्जेस और उसका रेलेवेंस क्या है. दोनों चीजें बतानी है. कैपिटल चार्जेस क्या है और उसका रेलेवेंस क्या है. यस, एनीवन? Yes, class, last topic, capital charges. Come on.
I can go.
Okay, Huda, go ahead, please. I cannot see other volunteers. Yes.
So regulatory authorities have imposed some regulations To prevent, basically to protect the investors and depositors of the bank or any other financial institutions. The regulations require these financial institutions to have to maintain some liquidity, some statutory requirements uh, uh, in order to meet their short-term obligations.
Can you give
And
any example of
also,
that?
हाँ जी, तो क्रेडिट रिस्क को मिटिगेट करने के लिए कैपिटल चार्जेस होते हैं. ऑल्सो जो बेसिल अकॉर्ड्स होते हैं, जो बेसिल नॉर्म्स होते हैं, उनको फॉलो करना रहता है बैंक्स को. तो उसके अंदर ऑल दीज थिंग्स आर प्रिस्क्राइब्ड कि कौन से रिस्क के लिए कितना कैपिटल चार्ज मेंटेन करना है बैंक को.
ठीक है, perfect. I think this is going to be more than
SSR.
yes. So broadly speaking, capital charges में आप basically capital requirements narrate कर रहे हो जो कि regulatory authorities करती हैं, just to ensure कि banks की financial institutions की एक stability maintained हो, and based on those stability they are able to tackle everything, they are able to withstand any kind of pressure or uncertainty that comes in the market. ठीक है, जिसमें आप RBI का example दे सकते हो that RBI comes up with various kinds of circulars where it keeps revising various kinds of rates. ठीक है, rates में आप Basel Accord के बारे में बात कर सकते हो. You can talk about Basel Accord, you can talk about SLR, any kind of charges, any kind of rates, which is majorly done to ensure that the banks are stable and they're able to withstand any kind of market-based risk. ठीक है? So that is all going to be your second unit part. Second unit is majorly with respect to numericals. Do practice numericals. सिर्फ फॉर्मूले रट के मत चले जाना कि मैं तो अपने आप सॉल्व कर लूंगा. एक दो न्यूमेरिकल्स प्रैक्टिस कर लीजिएगा. आपकी पीपीटी में ऑलरेडी मैंने दो तीन न्यूमेरिकल दिए हुए हैं प्रैक्टिस करने के लिए. That is more than sufficient. तो उसको प्लीज प्रैक्टिस कर लीजिएगा. डू नॉट जस्ट गो बाय मगिंग अप द फॉर्मूलास. ठीक है? एंड यस भावना, यू हैव वांट टू आस्क समथिंग?
यस सर, ये जो कैपिटल चार्ज होता है ये सिर्फ बैंक्स और फाइनेंशियल इंस्टीट्यूशंस के लिए होता है या फिर और बाकी नॉर्मल कंपनीज के लिए?
नहीं, कंपनीज के लिए वो जो कैपिटल चार्जेस हम कह रहे हैं बैंक्स और फाइनेंशियल इंस्टीट्यूशंस के लिए जो आरबीआई प्रेस्क्राइब करती है, वही प्रिस्क्रिप्शन कंपनीज के लिए होता है विद रिस्पेक्ट टू रिजर्व्स बनाते हैं ना कि इतना प्रॉफिट है तो इतना रिजर्व बनाएंगे, इतना प्रॉफिट है तो इतना रिजर्व बनाएंगे. तो कंपनीज एक्ट के किसी सेक्शन के अंदर प्रोविजंस में गिवन है दैट अगर आप इतना प्रॉफिट कमा रहे हैं तो इतना % आप पैसा जो है रिजर्व में ट्रांसफर कर दीजिए. दैट इज ऑल्सो पार्ट ऑफ कैपिटल चार्जेस.
Okay, so we will call it capital charge as well.
Yes. But majorly it is in the context of banks only. Banks and financial institutions के context में उसको ज़्यादा use किया जाता है. That is what it is. Okay. So that is all about it. I hope everything is clear. PPTs मैंने सारी आपके साथ share कर दी हैं. It's already on the group and I've shared my email also. I hope you can make good use of it wherever you feel that you need me. Just make sure that you give your details first. कि sir, this is this and this person from this and this कोर्स, ताकि मैं समझ सकूं बिकॉज देयर वेरियस कोर्सेज रनिंग अप. आपके पास जो ईमेल है वही मेरे MBA स्टूडेंट्स के पास भी है. सो दैट आई एम एबल टू अंडरस्टैंड व्हाट यू आर आस्किंग एंड देन यू कैन स्पेसिफिकली गो अहेड और डिटेल में अपने क्वेश्चन को एक्सप्लेन कर दीजिएगा. दैट्स दिस कांसेप्ट इज नॉट क्लियर, व्हाटएवर यू वांट टू आस्क. अगर पीपीटी में से कुछ है तो उसका स्क्रीनशॉट लेके दे दीजिएगा एंड आई विल इंश्योर दैट आई reply to you as soon as possible. So all my good wishes to all of you. I believe you all have been wonderful students and I just hope that you all perform very well in your examination, and I'm very certain that you're going to perform very well. Apart from that, we have 5-7 minutes left, so if you have any feedback for me, you want to unmute and you want to give me any feedback, feel absolutely free. I've just from my side, I've just enjoyed teaching you for these classes, for these hours, whatever it has been. But still, if you have any feedback, anything that you want to share, please go ahead. Yes, anyone, you can unmute yourself and you can just go ahead. Any feedback that you have for me? Positive, negative, neutral, whatever it is. Okay. Thank you, Bhavna.
No, I think we had some wonderful time, sir. I mean, the past, at least I can recall for past 4-5 weeks, I've been regular, and I think we really enjoyed this because there were a lot of examples, real life examples, day-to-day examples. So that was really good aspect of your teaching, sir.
Thank you so much, Atulji. It has been lovely interacting with you also, and I think that someday we get a chance to have our conversation continued on behavioral finance as well. It will be a good food for thought for me.
Oh yes, true, definitely.
And feel free to connect on LinkedIn. That is a very good way of connecting to fellow mates, so that we keep getting updates also. Where are you transcending to? Where are you moving at? So please do get connected on LinkedIn also. You can search me by the name Dr. Shubham Singhania. And you can stay connected there. We can further exchange anything. If I can be of any help for any guidance for placement or anything, feel absolutely free.
So just one last question.
Yes, please.
One last question on this MCQ exam, the internal exam. The SLM material is good enough, or we should also try and read beyond. So these are the multiple choice questions, so there might be some tricky questions, right?
I'm pretty sure that study material should be good enough, but I cannot comment much on it because that has been independently prepared. So
okay, I got you. But I got you.
Yeah, but I think that that will be taken care of by the team as well. So I think that the study material should be more than enough, and it should be well aligned with the syllabus as well.
Great.
But I can be more certain about the final exam. So I hope Atulji, you got what I wanted to communicate.
I understand. And then final exam also, I think short, concise, good answers with the examples.
No lengthy answers. No lengthy answers. Just be very specific to the point. Just give examples. Answer in bullet points. Avoid paragraphs. Nobody wants to read paragraphs which are not structured properly. Try to highlight examples. Try to make some diagrams wherever possible. Not some beautiful diagrams. I'm not expecting any beautiful artistic way, but just to highlight what components you want to talk about. So that's all. Yes. Anyone else has any suggestion or feedback? Anyone? Huda, Shishti, Shaurya? I got a chance to interact with some of you. Yes. Thank you, Shaurya.
Sir, I have thoroughly enjoyed attending your sessions. Thank you for taking them.
Thank you. And be prepared that since we have done a case study, you might be getting a case study also. So just be prepared. Don't get bogged down by.
We expect a case study. We do get a case study in every exam.
Yeah. So you expect a case study. Yes. Be prepared with the case study.
Definitely.
Okay. Chalo,
case
that's
study
all
did
for today.
do, I mean, which case study you're referring to?
Atulji, we discussed the case. Yeah, I'm not able to recall the class. I think it was a 5th class or something.
Yes, we discussed.
But we discussed the case study on the risk. Yeah.
On the risk. Okay, I'll go through it.
Different types of risk a bank could have.
Different types of risk. Yes.
Okay.
So that's all about the entire session. So all the very best for your examination, and feel free to get connected to me for any help. All the best. Bye. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir. Good luck to you too.
Thank you. Bye. Thank you all. Thank you. Best wishes.